PA Getty Gerry Adams has hit out at the UK, claiming Brexit has led to a boost in the United Ireland campaign. Adams said Brexit posed huge economic and social problems for Ireland, but also highlighted the push for the reunification of the island, which was partitioned in 1922. He said despite Brexit's many problems, the divorce could inadvertently lead to the breakup of the UK by boosting Irish unity. The Sinn Fein leader, who will step down tomorrow after 3.5 decades at the forefront of Irish politics, said it was important not to inextricably link Brexit with Irish unification. But Mr. Adams admitted the EU divorce has had an impact on the future of Ireland. Gerry Adams is stepping down after 35 years as Sinn Fein leader. He said this was largely due to the growing spotlight on the Irish border, which has been invisible both in terms of infrastructure and customs checks since the Good Friday Agreement in 1998. Mr. Adams today said Brexit had succeeded in highlighting how important the invisible nature of the Irish border is, as well as turning the spotlight on the ignorance of the UK government regarding even basic aspects of Irish affairs. He said the consequence of Brexit is that people have just been reminded that for the last 20 years we have just practically had a single island economy. The border has ceased to be the intrusive, in-your-face structure. It is still there, of course, and we want rid of it in any form, but people have just been reminded how good that has been. He said it would be too simplistically to tie Irish unity to Brexit, but said his efforts had certainly been helped by the Leave victory. Officials in Dublin, Stormont and Brussels have grown increasingly frustrated as Brexit talks develop, at the lack of clarity provided by the UK government on how Brexit will not impact the fragile border situation. Theresa May's Brexit officials are yet to explain how checks or tariffs will not be introduced if the border between the Republic and Northern Ireland becomes a border between the EU and UK, especially if Britain quits the single market and customs union. Instead, government officials have only offered lukewarm assurances that a return to the hard borders of the past will be avoided. Getty Gerry Adams, pictured with the late Martin McGuinness, has long been at the heart of Irish politics. Before Christmas, after tense negotiations, Dublin and the EU agreed to progress to the next stage of exit talks with the UK, who essentially kicked the border can down the road by pledging to keep the border invisible if again, not explaining how. Mr. Adams said, "I'm not saying there is a direct correlation between Brexit and Irish unity, and in fact I think those of us who want a united Ireland need to be very careful that we are not accused of trying to exploit Brexit. But I just think the notion of Irish unity, in terms of public debate, is now much more prevalent." He concluded by stating his continued desire for a referendum on Irish unity and to finally bring Green and Orange together in a new, multicultural Ireland. Mr. Adams said, "We want to see a referendum on Irish unity as part of the Good Friday Agreement. We are going to continue to campaign for that, and we also want to win that. You have to work for it and you have to convince people. But we now have a very peaceful and democratic way of achieving it. That means persuading people that the best way for all of us on this island is if we govern ourselves. Why do we want English people to govern us? Why do we want anybody but ourselves to govern us?" After 35 years as Sinn Fein leader, Gerry Adams will step down tomorrow. He said at the very core of Irish unity was uniting Orange and Green. Mr. Adams said it's about harmony and peace between those two big traditions. And as we become more multicultural, it is also about making space for all of those other folks out there who would be part of the Orange and Green tradition. It is about trying to build a tolerant, respectful, citizens-based, rights-centered society.